there was an idea called the AvengeHers Initiative. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
Everyday sane psycho.
Time for the faster, baby.
Nefarious Media Network. We are live and we are back with another AvengeHers Initiative, our fourth episode. It's been a hot minute. My name is Jennifer Smith, and I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts, Nate Milton and Brittany Monet. How are you?
Hello. I've missed you.
I missed you.
Because every time I have been doing a podcast with Nefarious Media, whether it's for an Avengers or something else, it's just been me and boys. So it's nice. It's nice to finally have you back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be back.
Hey, first off, I just want to say Happy International Women's Day, everybody. But yes, this is fun. It's been too long, but now we got the macaroni and the cheese and the collard greens all together. Y'all can decide which food you are. I'm not getting into that argument, but yes, it is a special occasion, Jenny, because not only are the three of us reunited for the first time since issue 1, but we've got an actual honest to goodness movie to talk about that's actually in the theaters, and we have a special guest joining us as well. The suspense is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is where we need two-way Ray, because now, like, I've gotten spoiled because I haven't had to do my own production for a long time.
That's
So
true.
now... There he is.
Hey, yo.
Hey, Andy.
How we doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Andy, but back is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
you demanded it. The nation demanded it.
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe like a district was like, yeah, sure, have him on.
Hey, happy President's Day, Andy.
I'm still waiting for us to get a president, but sure.
Same.
Message.
It's a brave new world, you guys.
Yes, that was going to be my thing, Jenny.
Yeah. Many ways.
Like, I feel like, Jenny, we need to, like, today's President's Day, and I know a lot of people are feeling some kind of way. So let's stop, Jenny. I'm going to pass you the baton because we need to put away the thoughts of this current president who is an angry, rage-filled monster. And, the world and American citizens are figuring out what we need to do with this person. And let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about something distracting. Let's talk about a film with an angry, rage-filled president monster where people are trying to figure out what the hell to do with this man.
Right? Are there lessons we can learn from this movie? I don't know. We'll see.
Is it an allegory for life?
Maybe. Okay. We can get into opinions. I'll try not to let my opinions color a lot of what I say here too much. I try to be objective about this movie, but I think having a political thriller, quote unquote, right now is just a lot. And I worry a little bit about about keeping Cap in this whole political thriller realm, because it's not the only thing that Cap can do. And I feel we are stuck there for another movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do we want to give a spoiler alert, because the movie is still out?
Yeah, I would say yes. We're probably going to spoil what happens. So if you haven't seen
out of this movie, America,
don't listen or come back when you see it. So this is a continuation of the mini series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, without a lot of people remembering Falcon and the Winter Soldier or having had watched that TV show. I'm struggling to think of how to start this without going insane. Okay. I think that Sam Wilson as Cap is very good in this movie. I think Sam is dialed in, and the only thing that I don't like about him, and I feel that he maybe struggles with it a little bit during this movie, is that he's not a super soldier. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like Cap needs to be super powered. And they have taken away that from that character, and also have put him in these situations where he has to be like the lone voice of like kind of reason amongst the politicians of the world. So it's a tough spot for Cap.
Yeah. I agree. I also feel like the timing of the movie was not great. And then there's other things that I have aired that I feel like like the whole Sabra character, whatever her name is.
We'll get to her.
I just feel like a lot of things are weighing this movie down, and it sucks because, like you said, like I think Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson is a really great fit for the mantle of Captain America. I think he's not the problem with the film, nor is Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres. Like I think those two are just so they work so well together. They're both so well in their roles individually that I just feel it's very unfortunate timing for this movie, because I think there's people who just aren't going to see it because of, like you said, the real world implications, people who are, whether it's boycotting or just because like you just don't want to hear politics, because our politics in our own lives are kind of like bleh. So I just feel like unfortunate timing, but I do think the movie has made decent money, at least on its first weekend, but it's probably not the money that it should have been.
Probably not.
For me, I think like I agree with both of you. Like Anthony Mackie, like this, to me, if there was any doubt that he could be Cap on the big screen, I think that doubt is put to rest at least through this film, just because of the way his portrayal of Captain America is. I love the relationship with him and Torres, as well as him and Isaiah. Like I love this little small family that Sam Wilson's kind of building out. Like I said, we'll get to Sabra, because that was an unnecessary hurdle that they placed in front of themselves with her character. I think when you talk about the real world kind of implications of this, it kind of reminds me of the first line Kendrick said at the Super Bowl halftime performance when he was talking about his message, but also like Trump is in the building, first president ever to see the Super Bowl live in the stadium. And he's like, you picked the right time, but you picked the wrong guy. Alluding to Trump. And I feel like this, if people had just did what they were supposed to do in November, this movie would probably be a lot less with anxiety for some folks. But that aside, like they couldn't control the election. If they could, like Feige's are way more powerful and must be stopped if he control elections. But no, I thought Sam's Captain America was good. To the question of Super Soldier Serum, Jenny, because this is something I actually changed my mind on. Because before the film, like Sam don't need serum. All Sam needs is Sam and his heart and his mind and that Wakanda technology. Sam don't need no Super Soldier Serum. But again, spoiler alert, Sam got his ass whooped by the Red Hulk at the end of this movie. I'm like, y'all need to get that man some Super Soldier Serum. This is not like the suit is fine because the suit is vibranium, but the man inside the suit is not fine. Y'all help this man. So like, they don't have to give him the full dose, Jenny, but just like a little super soldier booster shot.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Your audio is a little crackling again.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was just me.
Yeah,
it was me too. I had to lower the volume on my browser because I was like
trying to silence me, Andy. How
they literally were just on Black History Month. I know, but they were both just
exactly.
Too. They were both. Why do I get the slam for it?
Exactly. I shall, like Captain America, I shall return.
Okay. Andy, your thoughts?
So, I've been very nervous about this movie because of a lot of reported, reshoots and stuff like that. I know the director came out and said that it wasn't necessarily true, but like as someone who has been, covering this movie professionally for the last 1.5 years, and again, this movie has been delayed multiple times. We were supposed to get this way sooner, so. Respectfully, I don't know if I necessarily agree, believe what he is saying because there was just a lot of changes you could tell. But for me, like I've been just wanting a good Captain America movie since after Winter Soldier because I've been on the record elsewhere saying that I do not like Civil War. I don't think it's first of all, it's not even a Captain America movie. It is Avengers Civil War. It's not a Captain America movie. So I was like, I just want a good Cap movie again, and that's all I'm asking for. So going to this, knowing a lot of the issues that they were dealing with and a lot of the controversies that they were also facing, I'm like, listen, I've always been behind Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, and when he took over the reign as Captain America at the end of his show, I'm like, this is perfect. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited for it. I know he can lead. He's a great actor. So, he's absolutely, I agree with you, because he's absolutely, if there are any problems with this movie, he is absolutely not one of them. Mm-hmm. I think that this movie should have, come out sooner, and I think that maybe not going as such a political route was the best interest. But again, how would they supposed to know that November 2024 was going to be the way it was? So and again, listen, like also, who doesn't love seeing just Harrison Ford and like you getting the question? So, but yeah, I mean, I will say that from the get-go, like, I prefer this movie way over Civil War. Like, again, because at the end of the day, even though you can tell there are reshoots, you can tell there's been a lot of changes. I'm like, you know what? The story is cohesive enough for me to, I'm like, you know what? I just want a good movie. I don't need Avengers Endgame level on every Marvel movie I see, because I felt this is the tone that the audience has now set for themselves, that if it's not Endgame, then it's, oh no, the MCU is in shambles or something like that. And I'm just like, first of all, I need all these damn influencers and TikTokers, whether to just, can I curse on the show?
Yes.
I need them to shut the fuck up.
Yes, please.
About, like, every time what they don't like one certain thing with Marvel, and it's like, oh, and then when they see something, and now Marvel is back on track. Marvel's been here. It's just it's in a different era now. And for me, I'm like, I was telling this to one of my colleagues, the screenwriter, and I'm like, I just want this movie to succeed only so that it can prove that that a Captain America story that happens to feature a black man as a new Captain America can work. And that's what I'm open to that it's a modest box office success. When it comes to the whole super soldier serum thing, I like that he doesn't have it. I like that he's an everyday man. Like, he's a man of the people. I think that, again, Steve Rogers, I think that's what, because every Captain America has a super soldier serum, that, it doesn't allow, some of these characters to be unique on their own. I think what makes Sam a better Cap than Steve, for example, is, what he has that Steve never had was, he has a very smart understanding of, like, acknowledging the world around him and using, because again, Steve was like, oh no, like modern technology, ew. To sum it up in a polite way. But I love that Sam is more I like
he was kind of like that.
Yeah, like that's why I like it when Sam says, oh yeah, I got an upgrade from Wakanda. I'm like, Steve would never have thought about like going outside America and trying to like get upgrades. He's like, again, that's why every Captain America gets to be their own Cap, and that's why I prefer that he doesn't have the serum, that he doesn't have powers. Because one thing I've also kind of missed with the MCU is kind of trying to go back more to the street level, kind of like the less fantastical, because there are so many like portals and aliens and variants and Loki's, and I mean, like, there's just there's just a lot, and so it's nice to just be like, you know what? Let him just. I just want to see a good Cap movie where he's fighting a big threat, and that's what I got from this film.
I'm glad you brought up Harrison Ford. I was really pleasantly surprised by him. Like, I thought he actually brought it. The emotionally shoehorned in ending scene aside, I thought that for an old man, because look, Harrison Ford is an old man. He was definitely holding his own. I didn't feel like his version of the Red Hulk was too. It wasn't too out there. Like, it still felt like it wasn't Endgame level Hulk. You know what I'm saying? It still felt like a reasonable threat. Like a threat that could be neutralized without bringing in, all of our friends, because we didn't get to see hardly fucking anybody else. The other thing is that the people that we did see, you had to have a long memory to remember who the fuck they were and what the fuck they were talking about. And if your Cap knowledge is a little stale, then you might have been a little bit lost, because they did not explain things on the back end very much, which is weird, because usually we get a lot of exposition type things, but it was just kind of glossed over, like, hey, remember this guy from the first Hulk that we never talk about? Yeah, he's around again. I'm like, oh, okay. And then what was Giancarlo's name? What's his name?
Sidewinder.
Yes, Sidewinder.
Yeah.
What? It should have been his movie. Number one, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And all of the stuff that intrigued me was from his point of view. I like me some heels, but he was the superior heel in this movie, and he got zero time. You're muted, Nate.
You're muted or something.
Maybe. There you go.
Oh,
still can't hear.
No. No. First it was crackling. Now there's nothing.
No, nothing.
I'm sure some of it was my fault too.
But did anybody remember? Our old buddy with the fucked up head. I forget his name.
I remember him being in the movie, but it's been so long since I've seen that movie that I don't remember how it ended. It's because I genuinely do not enjoy Edward Norton in that role.
I don't either at all.
I don't know if it's like his voice, because I don't know why. Like, I don't mind him in Fight Club, whatever, but for some reason his voice and whatever about him, like, I just don't like him. I'm like, just give me. I rather would have had Eric Bana again. Yes. But I know negotiations or whatever. But yeah, I only remember just because I was like, okay, I have a vaguely good memory of like actors being in certain movies, even if I've only seen the movie once. But yeah, I think my other issue with the movie was answering issues that Sam Wilson wasn't really a part of, kind of, when I really was hoping he was getting his own fresh movie. Still can't hear you, bruv, just in case you were testing it out. But yeah, like, I think that was my other issue, was answering like the Eternals, or like bringing up what's going on with the Eternals, and then all this other stuff. And like, I liked the Eternals. I'm one of the few people actually probably like genuinely.
I think you're the only one.
But
probably.
Anyway.
Yeah, I fought this woman on Eternals before, and she's like, I'm like, I love the movie, but I'm like, no, that's not a good movie.
I think it's a great movie, but whatever. I don't think it's like the best thing that Marvel has done. Like, don't get me wrong, because I know there's some people who do push the narrative that that's the best Marvel movie. I don't agree with those people. But that being said, I don't think this was the movie again to necessarily answer it. I just think because like it just felt like they were adding so many things into a movie that it made me like, is this what the Sam Wilson Cap story needs?
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I would agree.
That's the only thing. I think, like you said, like Sidewinder Giancarlo was like, he really should have probably been the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Those two together were just so great. And not that Harrison Ford didn't do a great job, because I think Harrison Ford was fantastic. I just think that something about Giancarlo playing like the opposing force is just always so good and like so captivating. And I think, again, he brought his, A plus 100 game as always. So I think it would have been a much more interesting to see them go up against him more than just, like it was like what, less than even 5 minutes of screen time probably.
Yeah, he got one cool action kind of set piece. That was good, but like kind of woefully underused, unless the point is just to introduce him at this point and bring him up later, which hopefully. But
he was one of the. He was unfortunate. I mean, his performance was good. I think what the thing that was unfortunate about it is that he is one of the reasons the reshoots happened. Like he wasn't part of this movie initially, because there was a bigger focus on the Serpent Society, and like there was there was that WWE wrestler who was going to be part of it as well, and so on. They cut his scenes, so like Sidewinder was like something that happened like last minute, because reportedly this film was not doing well in test screenings and whatnot. So and the reason we got so little of him is because like that he wasn't planned initially.
Nate, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
You can try to silence me, America, but I'm not going to be silenced. I don't know why I'm blaming America when it was clearly Andy B. Messing with my microphone. But no, to the point about Giancarlo, like, yes, Jenny, like I agree. He was one of the best parts of the film for me. And hopefully the box office does well enough that we get another Sam Wilson Cap movie, because I think the dynamic between those two, especially when you get that second scene where they've captured Sidewinder and Sam has to go bargain with them. And Sam actually gives him kind of what he wants, because he knows it's for the greater good. And then he's like, hey, when you get out of jail, I'll be there to stop you. Yeah, when I get out of jail, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, oh, these guys are already besties. Like, their interaction between the two of them. So I hope the movie does well, because Giancarlo, like, for the little bit of time we got, and like as Andy said, it was due to the reshoots, but like he killed it. Like every time he was on screen. Yeah,
I mean, he normally always does, but it was just him and Anthony against each other was great, and even that opening scene where he's speaking, Spanish, the priest and everything, like it was just so good, like And so I feel like there was moments of this movie when the movie's dialed in, it's dialed in and it's great.
Yes.
And then there's other parts where you're just like, oh, okay. So yeah, I know the reshoots, like Annie said, there's definitely reshoots on this film, because there was so many different people who were supposed to be in this movie, like you said. Characters who were supposed to have bigger parts, that their parts were reduced because they were trying to not get super canceled. And that person didn't even need to be in the movie at all. Like, just when you see it, I'm like, hey, as much as I want to play this character, you could have had Jessica Drew Spider-Woman there instead. Former Hydra, all that stuff. She could have been there instead. Or, I don't know, someone else.
I was talking with Andy last night, Britt, and it's like Agent Taylor, who was like Ross's head of security, the black lady.
Yes.
Like all of that solid stuff could have been given to her, and the movie A would have been better because there's an actual relationship with Sam, and B we wouldn't have the real world stuff dragging the movie down.
Yeah.
Totally agree. The whole movie, I'm like, where do I know that girl from? And I wouldn't pull out my phone and look it up. I'm like, where do I know? I've seen her a bunch. And she was on the Mindy Project, of all things. What happened?
I'm trying to produce Jennifer Smith.
Now I silenced all the black people here.
You're making me look like I'm the evil white person of the group.
Don't you worry, because apparently
I might be, but I'm not messing.
You colonized the show, Jenny.
So yes, I feel like maybe because you're not used to it, when we're doing the shows, whoever is quote unquote producing it will move a certain person when they feel like, okay, they're talking enough. Let me give them their whole moment. So then it's just you. So you were probably coming into something good that Nate saw something in it, and then you were like, "Oh,
I think Nate is frozen."
Totally. Oh, now you're frozen. I love that. Great.
He is frozen.
Very happy. He's very happy.
Oh, this is crazy. He's pulling a Steve Rogers on us.
This is hilarious.
The
three of us together.
What I was going to say about Sidewinder is that because because everyone's wanted Giancarlo in the MCU for like the longest time now, and I'm like, if this is the character that they're not giving to him, like they're gonna have to do something really good later on. So because this is a character that we could theoretically see for like maybe 1 or 2 more movies. I don't think he's gonna be around for that longest time. That's why I'm like, we couldn't just cast him as Professor X or something. Like, it's
yeah. There's also, I think they're getting to a point where like I think they're trying to be like, well, then we have to kind of probably change Magneto's powers and adjust to his powers if Magneto is still going to be a Holocaust survivor, meaning that he has a longer longevity and something.
They could. They
can. Yeah. I think that's something that they can easily do, but I think that's maybe part of also something because he has to be a Holocaust survivor that I think most people only even though there was other people who were a part of the Holocaust, the main focus was Jewish people. So I think that's where they're like trying to, be a little bit accurate within casting. And I don't think Gian is any, there are Black people who,
I didn't say him as Magneto. I said Professor X.
Oh, I don't know why I heard Magneto. My brain is so focused on Magneto. That's so crazy.
As it should be.
I just, I like the bad guys, as we know, because we were talking about Kylo Ren earlier off air.
But I want to keep Giancarlo as Professor X. With Magneto, I understand that, they absolutely should do it very accurately. And, the thing that I'm always curious about is because, he would be, oh, hi. He would be very old by this point. So I wonder if they're going to take a young Magneto from the 50s and 60s and then somehow maybe time travel or whatever, and that's how he ends up in present time, so we can still have a relatively young Magneto. So, but yeah, if we're seeing Giancarlo more in the MCU, they better do something good with him as Sidewinder, because outside of 1 or 2 more projects, I don't think you can do much more with him. And he's been when he was teasing his role, he was like, "Oh yeah, this could be a series after this," and I'm kind of
there could be. I just feel like what you're meaning in terms of a villain in the big films, yes, I agree. Only maybe a couple of films, but I think you could do a series with him, maybe with a couple other people like Emily. Bring her back; she's great. Because she's apparently bad.
Where the fuck was she?
Yeah, I was looking for her in this movie. She was nowhere to be found.
Nope. Also, I was very undereducated on Isaiah Bradley as a character. Is this a comics character that I've never heard of before? Okay. Had no clue about any of that. And
yes.
Did you watch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show?
I did, but I don't remember.
Okay.
I didn't remember him in that.
In her defense, but it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
That's true. That's true.
But I was like, oh, okay. I totally forgot about this guy. And I wanted to see more of him. He just gets he gets his one thing and then he gets put in jail. And I don't know, him and Sam together was really good.
Sam, and Joaquin.
Adorable.
I loved the whole moment with the I want to know what photo he accidentally sent him at first, because that was just good. I don't know. That part was really good to me. I really liked them, the 2 of them, and then the 3 of them. All of them are together. I think such a fun addition to the MCU that I would like to see more of. But me saying I want to see more of it does not necessarily mean you need to do a whole series, because I think that's where some of these shows get born from, and then you're like, oh, you didn't even
This should have just been a movie.
Yeah, this could have been a movie, or maybe just a hour, 2 hour special.
That special presentation thing that
yes,
they.
Which I'm still one of those people who are like, Werewolf by Midnight is the best thing they have done.
I love that so much.
I love it. In the black and white version, I've not watched the color.
I refuse to watch in color.
Refuse.
No, because like Disney was like one day was like, would you like to watch it? I'm like, fuck no, I want to see it. Like I will.
Yeah, they keep suggesting it every time I go back to like watch it. I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
Just watch it. Just watch it. We need the stream.
I don't no like no they're no Disney Plus could be like, what, you don't see color? And I'm like, not with the werewolf. Like again, I got it on my, because that special dropped literally on my birthday a couple of years ago. I'm like, this is so much fun. I'm like, can't we have more of this? Like we don't need, sometimes we don't need 6-hour shows. We also don't need 2-hour movies. Like you could just do an 1 hour special and just have it be that.
Yeah. Werewolf by Midnight really is that girl, boy, whatever them. It's the thing.
I think with Isaiah, because again, like Isaiah was one of my favorite parts of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He's a character that I feel like is already good in the comics. Like the first time I read him was in the Captain America Truth Red, White, and Black run. It's actually a pretty good if you want to pick it up. It's probably on Marvel Unlimited or something.
I need to pick it up.
But Carl Lumbly to me brings a humanity to Isaiah, because like again, going back to the TV show, I think one of my favorite scenes of the whole series was just when Sam was going to Isaiah, kind of asking him for the blessing to pick up the shield and pick up the mantle, and then Isaiah just like, hey man, no self-respecting. Like they'll never let a black man be Captain America, and no self-respecting black man would ever want to be, because of he's speaking through his pain and what the government did to him and how they locked him up and tested on him and treated him like a lab rat just for doing the same thing that Steve did, rescuing his boys, going against orders. But Steve is a hero, and this dude is locked up for 30 years, and his wife's dead, and he never gets to say goodbye, and so it's like he's got a lot of trauma, and so like one of my favorite parts of this movie. And it's a theme throughout the whole movie. Like I love how already like Sam's superpower that people are aware of, besides the wings and the shield, is this motherfucker just likes to talk to people and relate to us as human beings.
He's a counselor.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the movie when Isaiah's like, "Oh man, don't try that counseling bull on me, Sam." And it's just like you've got Isaiah, you've got Sam, and then you got Torres, and just this weird found family of the three of them. And so I want to see more of Isaiah, like you said, Britt. He doesn't need his own series, but if you want to do like a one-off or just have him show up, for 15, 20 minutes in various movies, and that's how we get more of Isaiah's story down the way. But like Isaiah, like Carl Lumbly did his damn thing. Like the moment where they're arresting him, and he's figuring out like, oh, like I don't know what I did, Sam. Why am I out here? And when they start to lock him up, and he's just like, my suit, because it's the only thing he has left of his dead wife, and he's just like the pain, and he's like, my suit. It's like, oh, it's Carl Lumbly, you're amazing.
I was scared that they were actually gonna kill him. That they were gonna do the whole, oh look, aggressive black man, and we are scared. We need to shoot him. Shoot and ask later. So like but thank God they didn't. I don't want to be on full screen every time I talk. Just take it off. I will throw up the picture that you don't want me to throw up. So yeah, like no, but again, because I guess like this is one thing I kind of wanted to ask everyone, because I talked to this up with Nate last night, and it's that listen, we all know that there's people that are like, this is not my Captain America, and we know that in the comics when Sam became Captain America, there was that whole struggle that he had to go through with with the government and the public reception. They could just not accept that they couldn't have a Captain America who isn't white, and I almost feel like the MCU is like ignoring some of the real problems that Sam has to deal with, and kind of almost like, oh, like the MCU is this is a rainbow road, like nothing, racism does not happen here, whatever, and so on. And I'm like, if we're gonna go political, it feels like the politics only, Sam was only involved with politics that was surrounding with President Ross, but like we have yet to see him getting to get involved politically as the new Captain America. And I kind of like, was that something you guys were kind of, even though with what's going on in the real world right now, like if this, let's say this movie had come out even 2 years ago, is it a story element that you guys feel like should have been acknowledged in some point of like, what does it mean to be a Captain America who is black? Because because in the show we get allusions to like with Isaiah saying like they're not going to accept it, whatever, and instead we had to deal with white as John Walker. Oh boy, it's gonna be so much fun seeing him in May. But like, what do you guys think about that? That's kind of what I was curious about.
I think that the show hints more than just like the moment where he is accepting the shield, because he has that scene where he's trying to get the loan for. Yes. He's trying to get a loan, and he's Captain America, and everyone knows it, and he has saved the world. Even if he wasn't as Captain America, like, the fact that he is a superhero and has literally saved the world and helped people and stopped government corruption, he does not get approved of a loan. And they're like, why don't you have Tony Stark help you? Or like, you're one of your other boys help you. And it's like, really? They're like, it's like, obviously he's not getting access to those things. Why else would be here? Because Sam is obviously very honest man. So he's there because he genuinely needs it. And then, so I think like they did touch on that, but I don't know if it was also from the Marvel higher ups, or I would say maybe even Disney, level, where they were like, we don't want to hit on race all the time.
Yeah. That's how I felt. Yeah.
And that was my thought too, because I feel like
what do you feel, Cecile?
Yes. Shout out to Cecile Horton out there in Central City. But I feel like had this movie come out 2 years ago, yes, I do believe there would have been more race elements, because we were 2 years closer to a lot of the racial upheaval and unrest in the country. But I also feel like this is a Disney now that has gone through a tangle with your man Ron DeSantis, Jenny, that has
not my man, sir,
been that has been dragged into like the political waters when maybe they didn't want to be dragged into the political waters, just because of the tribalism in American politics right now. And so I feel like everything in this movie that acknowledges Sam's blackness, I believe, came primarily from Anthony Mackie, particularly like at the very end of the, I think that was not Anthony. That was not Sam Wilson. We saw at the very end when he's by Torres's bedside and he's talking about the burden and how he has to succeed, because if not, nobody else gets a shot. Like, that was Anthony Mackie. That was Anthony Mackie going off the top. But I feel like everything that was like kind of objectively black in this movie came from Anthony Mackie, probably Malcolm Spellman, and Julius Ono. And they did as much as they could given the structure of the corporate, because this thing has to make money. Like, that's the bottom line at the end of the day. This is a corporate product by the Walt Disney Corporation. And we know, like, we saw the results of the last election. This country is almost 50-50. And this movie already had a lot going against it, unfortunately, Jenny, with Anthony Mackie taking up for Chris Evans. And so, like, I'm sure they didn't want to go too far, because it's like, we're already barely hanging on to some of these so-called Cap fans, but we don't want to push too much.
And
I get it, and I think that's smart. But also, this movie is just missing like juice. It's just missing like they try to give you like, here's this emotional beat, but like there wasn't any meat on this movie for me, because they don't want. Because it is a political movie, and what are you going to do? You can only do so much. You can only, touch on it here and there. You don't want to throw it. You don't want to throw it around in everybody's face. But I just wanted some, like, thing. Like, I even the Red Hulk wasn't. He was a pussy. He was a pussy. He talked him down. I'm like,
well,
you're a fucking Hulk.
To be fair on that point, Jenny, because here we go. Let me bring you back out, because I think yes, the ending was very much power of friendship.
Yes,
with Sam and Ross, but
And that setting with the cherry blossoms looked so fucking
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Oh, it was so
the
bad.
CGI in this
I find it looked cute.
To me on Ross, like I feel like Ross's motivations, like yeah, it might have been a little too simple, but I felt like it felt real, like it rang true in the sense that this dude has been a shitty politician and a even shittier father for like most of his life, and he's dying. And so his only motivation, it ain't the adamantium deal with the Japanese. It's not putting the Avengers back together. Like that's not primary on his list. It's hey, I'm finna die. I got these pills from this weird dude in my basement, and I just need to talk to my daughter one last time to let her know that I'm not as shitty as I used to be.
Yeah.
And so like I can buy Jenny, like, yeah, it was very convenient that Sam was able to talk him down. But being that like that was Ross's main motivating factor, because that's what put him over the edge when the leader played that clip. Is like, yeah, your daughter gonna hate you even more now. And it's like that's when he lost it. But also like if anybody gonna get through to somebody, it's Sam, because that's what that man does. He talks to people. He don't want to fight nobody. Like really, he don't want to fight nobody. Even the guy
the Red Hulk.
Yeah, like especially the Red Hulk. Like so, I think yes, it was a little bit easy, shall we say, for that final confrontation. But I do buy it in the sense that both of those men's motivations. Like Ross, at the end of the day, he don't want to kill Sam. He just want to talk to his daughter, even if he got to do it behind bars. And Sam just want, hey man, let's stop fighting. You wasting all these tax people's money, Ross. Like take your ass to jail and let's be done with it. So I can buy it from that standpoint.
Yeah, but I definitely agree that there should have been a more focus on.
But Red Hulk looked clean though, didn't he, Britt?
He did look good.
He did look good.
That's where the CGI money went, was making sure that looked great.
All of it.
There's a scene there's a moment in that red the cherry blossoms where like Anthony Mackie ain't got no hair because of the CGI.
Well, see, Brittany, so actually what happened when Hulk did the thunderclap, right? You saw how it knocked down the building. It took some of the follicles off of Cap's head.
Not the follicles. Oh, no.
I caught that, too. I was like, ooh.
You can't have a bald Cap, I'll tell you that right now.
No. And, like, even in the beginning when he's going to where Sidewinder is at and has everyone, like, there's a moment where maybe it could have just been the camera and the lighting, but it looked fuzzy where I was like, is this already green screen? And I was like, oh, okay.
We don't assume anything with Sidewinder was green screen, because again, these were all reshoots. So like this, that could have been it. Like, maybe Anthony came in from a different production where like he had shorter hair, and
I don't think it was in that moment that he had. It wasn't in the beginning. It was at the end where they're like in I think the cherry blossom area where his hair is suddenly gone. But
hey, if Carol can have different hairdos every movie, so can Sam.
Yeah,
true. And I will say that also I think that they were nervous because your three main good guys, two of them are black and one is a Latino man, invisibly Latino, not like white kind of passing. And so I do think that they were just like, we need to be careful and not say anything too crazy. So I don't know if there was more of that too in the movie, and then they were like, they also took more of that out.
They took more of that out, and they were like, "We're gonna give you a scene of Baltimore with Anti up." And I'm like,
hey, MOP got a check for this.
Listen, I'm happy for it. It's a good song. But I'm kind of like, why does it feel like this came from Kevin Feige's Spotify playlist of like what he as black,
like year 2000 hip hop? Like, yeah, you guys got to throw this one in. This one is hot.
Well, I guess also like what I wanted to like add to what I was bringing up before is that we've seen how Black creators and Black stories for Black characters in this universe, we see with Luke Cage and with Black Panther, where like, okay, because I was almost expecting something more of like that with Cap 4, where like again with Black Panther, it's not so much in your face, because Ryan Coogler is, I think he does it very discreet and very it has a good flow to it. Luke Cage, like, yeah, it's there is more.
It's in your face.
It's more in your face, but it's in good taste. It's in a good way where like it doesn't feel forced, and that's why I'm kind of like. I kind of would love to talk to, the director and the writer, with Malcolm and with Anthony, kind of be like, did you feel like you guys had the creative freedom that Ryan Coogler and Chio had? Because I don't know, because again, I get it. Yeah, it's a corporation. All that Disney cares about is money. They don't care. They don't care about representing us. They don't care about nobody but white people. But like, if we're gonna no offense, Jenny, but
no
offense,
you're cool.
If we're gonna focus on the Black Captain America, or Captain America who happens to be black, we need to acknowledge everything that comes with that, because look how racist people are being right now towards the idea of people are saying that this is not my Captain America, like they're not going to see this movie
Captain
because
DEI.
And again, it's like Anthony Mackie is such a good Captain America that I'm like, listen, you know what? Fuck yeah, I can believe him being the leader who's going to bring together the next generation of Avengers. Like, when they do this whole soft reboot after Secret Wars, like, I don't want Steve to come back. I don't want no younger Steve Rogers. I want Sam to be here for as long as possible, because I think he's a great Captain America. Like, I was never behind the idea of Bucky becoming Captain America, because he, listen, he's hot, but he's a hot mess at the same time too. And so again, I've been rooting for this movie so much, except for one thing. I guess we can get to that in a minute, because I want to rant soon. I want to rant soon about something.
Okay, let's do it.
But yeah, I guess you know what? I remember a time when we had to fight for a director's cut of a movie to come out, and I felt it might be time that we do that again here. So
release the Spellman cut.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The only reason why I
you don't believe in director's cuts. So.
No, it's not that. It's just
you said that before. You said it before. Like, we listen. I love you, but we know you for many years now, and you've been always been against director's cuts. You're like, I don't think
I feel like because of I think that the horrible side of the Snyder fans,
and I know they're
what has ruined
crazy.
What has kind of ruined my now we need to demand, because I feel like I didn't even like the Joss Whedon version all that much, so I just feel like demanding a director's cut now comes off a certain way. But I do want to make it clear that I think that, yes, every director who is doing their movie should have their creative vision seen to as much as possible. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it is the movie business, and the business side is always going to, come through unless there's the people that, the shareholders and all that really trust. There's only certain people who get that kind of freedom. And that person is now the head of the other studios.
Yeah. So James Gunn is his name. Yeah.
James Gunn and Ryan Coogler are the only two in Marvel who I think really get their full creative freedom. And yeah, because
in the end, what I think is that because you see that because we need let's talk about color for a second, because when white directors get to come in and do their Marvel movies, you rarely hear that they are getting micromanaged from behind. We've seen horrendous Ant-Man movies from the same director, but I said what I said.
Hey, one of them is really good.
No,
which one?
The first one.
I wanted Edgar Wright.
I kind of like two better.
I like two.
I kind of like two better than one.
I like two because I really like Ghost a lot, and
me too.
I'm so excited for her to be back.
Me too.
But I think as a whole movie, I really prefer the first one. I think the first one's great. It hits me in my heartstrings and all that. So yeah, I like the first one a lot. But
I'm very happy for you. What I'm saying though is when it comes to because I have a point I want to make. Is that you hear how the white filmmakers they you don't hear all this micromanaging, but then you look at what happened to the Marvels, for example, with Nia
DaCosta.
There we go. Thank you. We hear that there was a lot of change that happened there too, and it's it always seems to happen. Unless your name is Ryan Coogler, directors of color are not going. I feel shitty for them that they're not. Most cases they're not going to get to make the movie that they make for Marvel. I get it, Brina. It is the movie, is the business, but also we can decide what we do with our money in the end. And the reason we do podcasts is because to raise these concerns. And I think that I'm acknowledging the reality that comes with it. I'm just saying that if because again, we have to, people need to stand up to students and say, we're coming to see films by filmmakers, not by committee. That's why the whole reason the DCEU never worked.
I 100% agree. I just feel like because of the campaigning that certain Snyder fans did, and those happen to be the loudest, are the ones who I think ruined the wanting to push for a director's cut, because now it comes like, oh my god, here we go again, and I feel like that's the unfortunate side of it, because I do think what they did to, I've said this even though I don't like Zack Snyder, what they did to him was dirty. Man was grieving, and you couldn't pause a movie for him to deal with the serious death in the family, for real.
And again, corporates, they don't see people, they see dollar signs.
Exactly.
I know that's the problem. Like I said, at the end of the day, they're always going to go back to the shareholders and the dollar signs. So unless shareholders really are like, hey, or they really believe that people aren't going to buy tickets for movies, they're going to unfortunately do these things and only be like, yeah, we trust you. You get the keys to the castle, which is, it sucks, because I think that there's so many people who don't get a shot at these movies who probably would actually do a really great movie too. That's another thing, I don't know. If there is another cut, I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to come off as someone who is being abusive and trying to get. Well,
that's not what I'm trying to get at all. As someone who is, I'm a passionate Zack Snyder fan. I fought for the Snyder Cut to come out. I do not stand with the people who have gone batshit crazy over to the cultist side. And listen, Brady knows, 8 years ago, I would say that no, there is no Snyder Cult. You're talking crazy. I have had to retract that. I have seen that side now, because they're attacking everything James Gunn is trying to do with the DCU, and I don't support that. However, what I'm going to say is that just because of a couple of bad eggs, I don't think we should stop fighting for filmmakers to get to have their visions come to fruition. Because in other cases, what's the point of having directors attached to these movies? Just have GPT direct these damn films, and then we can just call it the end of the day. Because
I agree.
Yeah, so let's talk about something that I know will unite all of us. Saber sucks. I don't get what it's not my show. Go ahead, Jenny.
That was where I was going next.
No, she
talk to him, Cap.
I obviously have made my voice clear on that. I am 100% for a free.
Oh, you're muted.
No, did you wait? No, wait a minute. Did she?
Wait, what?
Did she? Did she? Because listen, where she muted herself.
I didn't mute me. My hand is down here.
Okay, say that sentence again.
That was the government muting you.
I'm 100% for a free Palestine. As we know,
that's where she got muted.
And and I, and I did before make my voice clear about I think it's unfortunate that Wonder Woman was played by someone who did things that and served in the IDF. And it's killing innocent children and what they're doing, and innocent, even there are men who are innocent who are not, whatever, the whole argument. But I think that when people have made it clear, hey, we don't want our, Captain America even just having to interact with someone who is just did something that's just so gross. This actress was medically cleared from having to serve in IDF, because you either serve in IDF or you go to jail. So the fact that you were medically cleared and you were I want to kill people, hey, okay. So she was so useless, and she didn't do anything that I was this needed to be that character, especially then when they were we got to retract and fix it a little bit, and making her still a Black Widow from a country that has fully like committed genocide against a people. And especially when the Palestinians were like, yeah, we can share this land with you. And then it's like, no, you know, I don't want to share the land with that. Like, it's the whole thing is like terrible. So yeah, she did not need to be there. It could have been anybody playing that part. Like y'all said, it could have been, it was Agent Taylor. Yeah. She could have had a bigger part, or if they needed to have the two female characters, like, again, you could have introduced other characters in it, like, other than that. And I just feel like it was just bad taste introducing a character that is very polarized, and, you know, and regardless of where higher ups fall in their beliefs of the, you know, the genocide, I think that just, it was bad. It was not a good character to introduce, regardless of where you feel, because it's such a deeply polarizing topic right now. That, and it's not just right now, it's been going on since like what, 1949 or something, since like forever. That. So it's like, it just was not in good taste to have this character. And then, she just wasted screen time that could have gone to, Giancarlo.
For sure.
You know, or like, which again, I understand he was added in reshoots, but like they could have reshot, or like we said, realize, hey, let's give Taylor a bigger part, or whatever. But yeah.
To me, Jenny, like I thought this was an example of creating an obstacle to overcome that you didn't need to create in the first damn place. Mm-hmm. Because this character really served no purpose. Mm-hmm. And maybe you can get away with justifying this character's inclusion if she is like the breakout star of this film. And people are coming out of this movie like, yo, I hate her politics, but the way the character, and it was so pivotal to the action in this movie. No, she wasn't pivotal to nothing, Jenny. No. And it's like, you put in a character that you know is going to, here's the thing, like, it's not just going to piss off one side, but like, because if you remove her, then you're pissing off another side. So it's like, either way, you've put yourself in a box, and you're not putting yourself, Disney Marvel Studios, in a box. You're putting Sam Wilson's Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, Captain America in that box, because the general tone in terms of the audience reaction around this film is not going to reflect on this minor character that nobody gave a damn about coming in and nobody gave a damn about going out. It's going to reflect on Sam because it's his movie. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. Was largely ignorant of any controversy with that character or anything. Like, because I tend to go into these movies not knowing a whole lot, because I don't want to, because I'm afraid that I'll get too much in my head. Right. And I love that hat. And but so
now he understood it. Now he understood it. If you know, you know.
But yeah, overall, I thought that Agent Taylor character was just way better. Like, why not combine those two? She could have easily done everything that she did, but she's supposed to be one of the assassins, like Scarlet.
The Black Widows.
Black Widows, right. That's what she's supposed to be. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
but the character isn't originally, though. The character, they changed the character because she's supposed to be the Israeli superhero who is named after, which they like to say a conflict, but we know that it's always been a genocide against Palestinians. She's named after the victory of, like, basically all of that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what the character originally is named after in the comics. And I don't even think the character has, like, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that character even has a big, like, history in the comics where, like, she needed to even be there. Mm-mm. So it was very like, why is she here? And then they obviously were course correcting, like, let's just make her a Black Widow, and like had nothing to do with that, and try to like, but it's just like, it just she didn't need to be there at all. And
the audacity, Brittany, the audacity of this damn movie. Like movie, I'm talking to you, Captain America, Brave New World. Your audacity to have this lady show up at the end after she was the one that was getting on Sam's case at the beginning. She was the one that wanted Isaiah locked up. When Sam finally saves the day and Isaiah's let out of prison, she's like, and here's your suit. Like, you ain't part of the crew, lady. Like, you're not part of this family. Like, get out. No. We didn't want you in the first place.
Your thoughts, Andy?
Andy's favorite character.
Throw up the damn screen. I'm gonna talk too. I'm gonna talk to some people. Throw up the damn screen. Listen, I ain't okay. Kevin, Bob, yeah, I'm talking to you right now. Like, listen, because I'm gonna talk in code because I know how you all react. So here's the thing: we all know where you all stand on this topic, and I'm using that word loosely because we know what it actually is, but you bitches are too afraid to say it over Disney and Marvel. I know that you know what it is. This character, you all made it seem like that this was someone that we could not lose. She was crucial to all these acts, whatever. All she was an annoying little midget running around with no acting skills whatsoever. That this was bland. I've seen Katie Lotz in the air circles around this girl. Like, that's how. Because I think Katie Lotz is a fine actress, but again, not the greatest. But even like when I can see someone like her acting circles around this little person, I'm like, yo, like this film was already dealing with so many fucking issues. Okay,
yeah.
But you were all like, we somehow need this. Like, but again, you didn't keep her as a mutant. So, okay, fine. What is she here for? Oh, she's a Black Widow. Bitch, you have like 1,000 Black Widows in the comics you can use. But still, like, no, but I might need this one for some reason. Because, you know what? We're going to glorify one side that is committing this one other thing where, again, yes, I am Middle Eastern, so I have thoughts. But again, I know I have to speak carefully because the internet is going to be the way it is. So again, you went out of your way to piss off people. Like, again, you don't care. You make it clear where you stand in your politics, and you wanted to make people angry. So again, when you guys make yourself the video, oh my God, why are people protesting at our premieres? Like, because you wanted it. Because you want to make yourselves the fucking victims. Again, this character was useless. I did not believe her as a fighter. I did not believe her as a Black Widow. I did not believe that this chick is a fucking actress because, again, she is monotoned. Even when she was trying to throw her first over Bucky, I'm like, girl, shut up. Like,
is that Congressman James Buchanan Barnes?
Listen.
He's taller than I saw on TV.
Of all the controversies that Marvel Studios and Disney you've dealt with for the last like almost 20 years now, here is one that you could have so easily avoided.
Yes.
But no, because you are pro certain something, your true colors are coming out with this film. Fuck yourself, Kevin. Fuck yourself, Bob. I'm done.
It's a him. It's a Luigi. But yeah, like they literally dug a hole, and then how did we step in that hole? Like you dug the damn hole. The shovel is right there, Feige. It's right there. And so yeah, like I understand why. And Brittany and I had this conversation. Like she was not super enthused about seeing this film. Like I was always, because I was like, yes, I understand, but the fallout is not going to go to this character or Feige or Disney. The fallout's ultimately going to fall on Anthony Mackie, and it's like I gotta support Anthony on this one, man. I can't. Not that my $15 makes a damn difference in the grand scheme of things, but it's like I can't let Anthony fail. But yeah, they set him up on this one, Jenny. Like they did him dirty.
I hate that for him, but I'm hoping that she is such a non-factor in the movie overall that it, I don't know, like maybe not too much fallout for him in particular. But I
hate her.
I hate her as well. Something that I did like about this movie was all the talk about adamantium. Okay, because
that was cool.
I'm an X-Men girl, and I was like, yes, just give me all that beautiful X-Men shit, and just like slowly doing it in like the most boring way about who's gonna have the fucking mining rights for the adamantium. Like, fucking hell, who gives a shit? Just give me cool stuff. Like I get it's like a cool way to kind of like go about doing it, but then I'm thinking about the mining rights of it, and I don't want to think about that.
It's like
like just make Wolverine.
It's like the Star Wars prequels where they were doing all those trade talks in the meetings.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was reminded of. But seeing the celestial head and stuff.
Yes.
That
we finally
cool.
tied up that loose end.
Yeah, a little bit got in there. I don't know. I'm going to give my final thoughts. I was severely. Oh, also, I will inform you guys about my theater experience. Okay. So, look, it has been a real long time since children in the theater has bothered me. I typically don't have any issues unless the baby's crying, something like that. In this movie, there was a group of about 4, maybe 10-year-olds with 2 dads chaperoning these 10-year-olds. And, they would kick my seat. Okay. These aisles are wide now. People aren't scrunching by to get to their seat. You have room to walk.
Right.
And then the kids will take their cups and like, Mom will do it because I stuff in it. I thought it was empty. But they'll take their cups and like slurp the ice, right? And they'll do like all 4 of them did it like in a row. Slurp, slurp, slurp. I turn around. I'm constantly turning around looking at these children. Mm-hmm. And then finally someone kicked me really hard. And I turned around and I was like, I looked at the dad like, are you going to do anything? And he's like, stop, whatever. And then popcorn starts landing in my lap.
Oh, wow.
Oh, come on. This ain't the 70s. Like, what the fuck are these kids on?
I had a bucket of popcorn and I picked it up and I put my fist in it and I turned around. I said, do y'all need some popcorn? Because I have some. And the kid's she's a real one. Like, he can't hear me. He's leaning forward. What? I'm like, do you need some more popcorn? Maybe your daddy needs to go buy you some more popcorn. And then they stopped. And then it was like nothing for the rest of the movie. And I'm like, I am going to go nuclear on these fucking children behind me.
You felt like Thunderbolt Ross.
She was going to become Red She-Hulk.
And I kept thinking about the dads. What are you doing? You can see what they didn't say shit to those kids. And I was like, where are your mothers? Because mothers typically don't let their children act like that, especially at an expensive movie theater. To a crazy lady who's been on the fucking patriotic punch at the bar. Okay, so you don't want to.
That sounds lovely. The patriotic punch.
Oh, it was good. I said, "Can you make it a double?" And she said, "It's already a triple." And I said, "Okay." But anyway, so the kids ruined my whole like. It was just very annoying.
Your movie experience.
Yes, and overall, I just felt really disappointed in it, and I. Like the CGI, like the action, even the action wasn't really up to sort of Marvel standards for me. Like the water fight and the boats and the Japanese fighter planes, it was good. It was
Sam surfed on a missile, Jenny. You didn't get
that was cool.
I laughed so hard.
He surfed on a missile.
And then I felt the humor was just so lacking, so lacking. When you got the 3 of the 3 of them together, it got a little bit lighter. But I feel like Sam is a funny guy, and he did not get his shit in this one.
Felt like he had to kind of play the straight guy because he's like the lead guy
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I need some levity. You got to do something because this is a lot of heavy shit, and what humor there was just it wasn't enough for me.
We had to give it to Rufus. We had to give some comment to Rufus for some for a reason. Like 110 years old, I can work at that.
No, come on, weak jokes. I'm not fucking with that. I fear for Thunderbolts, if I'm being honest now, because
I think Thunderbolts will be fun. I think for the lack of comedy we had in this one, I think you will get it in Thunderbolts.
Hopefully so.
I think you have to because like I feel like with Thunderbolts, it's gonna have to really lean in on the comedy aspect of it because there's people who are like, I don't want a movie with Ghost. I don't want a movie with, especially the Taskmaster that we got. A lot of people like, I don't want them.
I'm only watching this film for free characters. So
I like Ghost. I'm one of the few people who actually do. I'm so excited to see her back. And obviously everyone loves Yelena, so everyone's here for Yelena mainly. Yes. So
I'm here for those two and
Alexi.
And Alexi, yes. Yeah. But I just feel like there's enough characters where people are like, I don't want this, so they really have to make it funny and full of action because, like, if not, people are gonna be like, I'm not here for this. But yeah, I do think, like you were saying, the reason why Anthony was more serious is because he's the lead, and obviously since Bucky is not with him, and Bucky's the more like, woe is me and dreary and blah, that they couldn't, like, because it's already established with Joaquin Torres, he's a lot more funnier and younger and inexperienced compared to Sam. So you had to have like the him be a little bit more serious and like, hey, we got to be like this and get ready to go. And, so when you have two funny guys and you got one who has to be more serious because the other one's the lead, that's, I think, why it wasn't as funny. And yeah, I don't know. I think they were trying to like, well, we got to take it a little bit serious because he's also the Black Captain America. So I really that was like what it was. But yeah, I agree that Anthony does really well in being the comedic actor. So like a relief, you could say, for other stuff. So it's like he had to be the serious one this time around. So I get it. But yeah, I don't know. But then also I don't want to be that person who like is like only expecting Marvel to be funny. Like obviously that's not true. Like I know that Marvel can do serious and do it well. But yeah, I think this could have been the one movie where it could have been more lighthearted considering everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, before I give my final score, like I think there's a couple things that really resonated with me, and most of them revolved around Sam. So I think in that respect, the movie did its job in that you buy Sam as Captain America. I love, like, we talked about the hot mess that he is, potential Congressman James Buchanan Barnes on these streets. Like that scene, like that cameo, which looked like it was probably one of the reshoots as well. Yeah. Like that little bit, just, it's a small scene. Like it really doesn't add a lot to the.
He wasn't in it at all.
Yeah.
Like,
and I didn't, well, that's the thing. I didn't think he was going to be in it at all. So like the little morsel we got, like I was like, oh, like these guys are friends. And so it's like the fact that Bucky told Sam, I love you when he left the room. Like that's a sign of character growth that we would not have seen from Bucky 4 years ago. Like, and because when we started Falcon and Winter Soldier, Sam was the one that had to keep calling and checking on Bucky, and Bucky's sleeping on the floor and having nightmares, and he didn't want to talk to his friend. And so just the growth between those two guys. Obviously I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like I could watch a whole movie of just those guys, like Mackie and Stan standing it up for 2 hours. I don't care what the script is. I don't care if Joss Whedon directs it. We got to fight Joss Whedon, Brittany Monet. Yes. Like, get the worst director in the world, the worst script. I believe those two would make something watchable.
We have to, like, we have to get Joss Whedon back. Like,
well, just for the joke of we have to fight Joss Whedon, Brittany knows. But I think for me, the easiest way I would describe it, Jenny, is this is a good Sam Wilson movie and an average Captain America movie.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
because I think what makes Sam in terms of it's the small scenes too. I think that resonated with me the most, like the stuff at the beginning with Isaiah, Sam, and Torres, the little cameo with Bucky, Sam talking with Ross, like seeing where Sam finally gets Ross to admit why he's been keeping Samuel Stearns alive, and like. Ross is like, I order you to shut up, Sam. Like, stop talking. And Sam doing his counselor BS thing is like, no, you got to let it out, man. And then at the very end, when he's talking with Torres, who's like almost died in this fight over this celestial island.
That was such a good scene.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, I looked up to the Avengers, and he's like, man, don't say Ant-Man. He's like, no, I looked up to you because you were the dude that wouldn't quit. And I was like, oh, And then it's like Sam. I think there's a good potential here because I compare this to First Avenger. Like, yes, this is Captain America 4, but this is Sam's first Captain America. Yeah. And so, like, I put it on par with First Avenger, and it's like if they get another one and they can tighten some things up and cut out the fat and give Sabra the boot, I think you have the makings for something here. I hope they get that chance, but yeah, like overall, I had a good time with the movie. The reviews are wild to me. Like something's going on with the reviews because like people talking about this like Quantum Mania level bad. Like, come on, baby.
It's not that level of bad.
Come on, baby. Let's have some nuance with our reviews.
Agree.
Like Rotten Tomatoes, like you Rotten Tomatoes.
What do they got it at?
It's like so I think audience score is like 75, 80, but then the critic score is like 50.
50.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's not a 50. Like it ain't 100, but it's not a 50.
No.
Well, rarely these movies get to 100 these days. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Andy? Final thoughts?
No, I mean, listen, like I think you guys hit the nail on the head a lot. Is that this is I think this is a very good Sam Wilson movie, and it's I think it's a good Captain America movie as well. Like again, I mean, I will take this movie over Civil War any day of the week because
that's a strong take.
I don't agree with that, but
it's okay. Power of free speech. That's what it's all about.
For now,
right?
But I Again, there was a story that was cohesive enough for me, and I am excited to see what they do more with Sam as Captain America in, Avengers Doomsday, because that's where we're going to see him next. And
unless we see him in Thunderbolts.
I mean, if he is, I'm saying that we're going to see him have a huge role next. It will be Doomsday. Okay. Because I'm sure he might have a cameo or something in Thunderbolts. The only thing I need from him then is that he says "I love you" back to Bucky, because like when Bucky left and Bucky said "I love you, bud," and like Sam says nothing, I'm like, come on.
I know. I was also like, oh, he's not gonna say it back, Sam Wilson.
I'm like, I almost stood up in the theater and go like, "Are you a CW show or something right now? Like, you don't like, come on, we are men. We can say we love each other to each other without it being gay." Like, Jesus fuck. Like, I was like, come on, Sam.
Maybe
like,
that you might be right. That's probably why, because there are a lot of people who ship what's
Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Stucky?
Stucky. Stucky is Bucky and Steve. Stucky is Sam and Bucky.
Okay, there we go.
Suck it.
Oh
wow.
boy.
Or Winter Falcon. I don't know.
Yes.
He's not Falcon anymore.
But
Yeah,
true. Or just in terms of
that is
just
true.
He's not Falcon anymore.
Okay, well then
that'd
I don't
be
know
Joaquin and Bucky. Like Bucky's just getting with everybody.
Yeah, because
he's a himbo.
He's just got. I think there's something about Sebastian Stan. He has like chemistry with everybody. I mean, not to plug that other movie that you don't want me to plug, Nate, but he's great in that movie, and he has chemistry with everyone in that movie too. Pretty much.
I gotta see that one.
Very good. If he gets the Oscar, like, I'm not gonna be surprised. That's all I have to say. But Jenny has to go in a few, so
I gotta dip out.
If there's anything else, Jenny, that you want to talk about, or unless we're gonna just end it here, then that's okay too.
So we can go. I say we can go around the horn one last time. Final scores and any plugs.
All right. I'm gonna go 6.5 out of 10. I think.
Okay,
something
that's
like
fair.
that. And then as for me, you can find my stuff. It is on the North South Connection podcast feed, and that's a lot of wrestling content there. You can find my shows, The Extreme Three-Way Dance, going through the history of ECW, and the No So Takeover, and that's going through all the NXT Takeover shows. And then the Jenny Position is on Wednesdays, and I do an X-Men show called The Exposition, and a documentary review show called Talking Docs. So check all that out, and then I'm on the socials at Jenny Position.
Hey. Have you seen the Christopher Reeve documentary yet, Jenny?
I fell asleep watching it the other day and didn't never come back.
I didn't know Christopher Reeves was out here playing like that. Like,
yeah.
It's like Superman.
Yeah.
I need to watch it still.
Superman was in these streets, Brittany.
He was hot though.
I mean, yes, exactly.
Whoa.
Like,
yes.
Hey, if I was, proper age around that time, if I could have shot my shot with him, I would have.
You could believe a man could fly, Brittany Monet.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
I hated horses for years after what they did to Christopher Reeve.
I know. It's rough.
Brittany.
Yes.
Score and plug.
I feel like I'm kind of with Jenny in the 6.5 to maybe 7. That's where I'm at. I did like it, but obviously those things weighed it down. And Danny Ramirez is so good. He's I think he's such a little light, and I think we need more of him in the MCU and other projects too. Where you can find me on social media. Oh my God, I almost totally forgot. At Hi Brittany Monet, besides doing this podcast.
Hi Brittany Monet.
Hi. Besides doing this podcast, and when I'm on the parlay, obviously it's all on the same network. So that, and I don't know when it's coming out, but it should be soonish. I got to talk with Keith Chow about Batman and Robin, because everyone knows
Keith still running scared on these streets.
Yeah, I think so. Because everyone knows that's my favorite Batman movie besides the Batman with Robert Pattinson. So yeah. Music.
I thought I was having a stroke. I was like, they're being reactive to you. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening.
You thought you were being called home to the pearly gates, Andy?
Yeah.
Come back, Luigi. All right, where did Andy go?
He's in protest.
He's protesting?
Yep.
I'll give my score then, since Andy's protesting.
All I can hear is the music, though, bro.
I can kind of hear you.
Yeah, this is why we need Two-Way Ray in the building.
Yes. Not us having to have Two-Way Ray with us all the time now.
There you go. That's better.
I was gonna say, we Two-Way Ray is gonna get a contract extension after this.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would give the movie, I'd say a 7.5 is where I'm going with this. Again, I think Anthony Mackie killed it. Harrison Ford, we've seen Harrison Ford collect a paycheck over the last few years, and not really come to play. Harrison Ford wasn't messing around with this.
No,
he wasn't. And you know what? There was a moment where I don't know what he says, but I was like, Han Solo. Something that he said that it just made me think of 100% Han, and I was like, yes.
Even the way he said adamantium was okay, Harrison.
Oh yeah,
okay, brother. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, you can see the seams of kind of the production in the film when you watch it, but to me, I had a good time with it. Like I said, my man surfed on a missile.
Yeah, I did.
You can't get that anywhere, Brittany Monet. You just can't turn on the TV and see a man surfing on a missile.
True. Yeah, I think it's a decent, fun film, but it's not a game changer yet in the MCU. They haven't done a game changer in a minute.
No, nor do I think this needed to be, though.
Yeah, that's true. Not everything needs to be Endgame.
I think the function of this movie, besides making money for corporations, to me was, can we buy Sam as this character? And I think we can. Can we buy Sam ultimately as, if not the leader, one of the leaders of a new group of Avengers? I think we can. So yeah, I think Anthony Mackie did his thing. Harrison Ford, Carl Lumbly doesn't get enough love. He was robbed of an Emmy nomination for Falcon the Winter Soldier because I think they gave it to Don Cheadle, which is why? Mm-hmm. He was in one episode.
He was in one scene in there.
In one scene in one episode. And then Torres. I really like Torres. I think Torres will be an interesting character. So yeah, I give it a 7.5. We needed more Giancarlo and less Sabra. But yeah, don't listen to the reviews saying that it's the worst Marvel movie of all time. Go check it out for yourself and see if you like it. Andy B. Oh yeah, my plugs. At in the number 8, NMOZAIK, at Nate Mosaic on Twitter. Nefarious Media Network, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. If you like what we're doing here, support us. We're almost a month old, Jenny.
Alrighty.
This baby that the 8 of us have had together. I don't know how that works biologically.
Well,
but myself, Chris Ely, Ray, Two-Way Ray, Brittany Monet, Cheniere Okafor, Jennifer Smith, and Steve Willie, part of this venture here with Nefarious. So if you want to support us, we'd appreciate it. Check us out. But Andy B, where can we find you at and your score for Cap 4?
Sorry, this song is just really good. I'm sorry.
it is really good.
It is really good. We'll probably get a copyright strike for it, though.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, why? I don't know why they're doing this. Like, because you put this stuff on Apple Podcasts too. Like, they are even stricter than YouTube.
Well, the song's almost over, so I didn't time it right.
You did not time it right because now I'm driving with it.
All right, well I gotta go. So get your shit in.
I give Cap 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I enjoy it enough to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is not the Dark World. This is not the shitty Ant-Man trilogy. This is not the Eternals. So like, everyone who's fucking shitting on this movie, go fuck yourself, go fuck your mothers, whatever. I don't care.
Hey.
For me,
Rex up in here.
For me,
Rex. There we go. Sorry, I was close.
Listen. I'm done with people. I'm so sick.
I haven't had my coffee today.
I don't do no coffee. I don't do any coffee. I'm tired of people crapping on anything in superhero these days that has a personal color or anything. And I'm just like, you white people have it so good. Like, shut the fuck up. So you can find me at Andrewbite on all social media. I am a senior writer interviewer for ScreenRant.com. I'm the editor-chief of MultiverseOfColor.com. I'm the host of the Show and Whisper at showandwhisper.com. And thank you guys for letting me join you guys and be chaotic.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You gonna take us home, Jenny?
Yeah. You know what? You're better at that.
Well, hey, thank you everybody for checking us out. If you watch this live or if you're listening in the future, unless Andy gets this pulled off of Apple Podcasts. I didn't
even play the fucking song. You're the one who played the song.
Yeah, but you told people to have sex with their mothers. I don't think that's allowed. But it's good. I'm glad we were able to make time tonight. Y'all don't know how long me and Jenny and Brittany have been trying to orchestrate this, and the fact that we pulled it off is a minor marvel.
Proud of us.
We'll be back eventually. Like somebody put up the graphic. The Avengers Initiative will return. But until then,
white screen.
Yes. Again, this is another job for Ray Williams, who's not here. But until then, thank you again, Andy B, for joining us. You always are welcome here, my friend.
I'm happy to be here.
Ladies, how do we end these things?
Latest gators.
You forget, Brittany?
I didn't forget. I was gonna say until then, latest gators, but then.
Oh, okay. You got to put a little razzle dazzle on it.
Me and I gotta hold up to a little bit to my name of being Cap.
On your left, Brittany. Bye, guys.
Bye.